rolling on the river, rolling on the river.
Hello there, and welcome back to the domain of Major Lot 92, the Shaman of Gaming. And more importantly, welcome back to my overdue, I admit, episode 3 of my Rolling Back the Year series, which of course is 2009. My last episode, obviously, it was 2010, and that was Fallout New Vegas. This is 2009, and I have decided to go for the coveted Assassin's Creed 2. I decided to go for Assassin's Creed 2 over the other, games in the series, just because I think it was a little bit more revolutionary for the series itself. I think it revolutionised the series and pretty much made it what it is by sort of the sort of structure of characters, like the way they built up characters in the game, and added new features at the right times, and the features that really changed the game. So for me, even though like the features that they added probably on Assassin's Creed Brotherhood were the ones that rounded it up into the perfect game, the ones in Assassin's Creed 2 were what really made it such a huge success, I think, anyway, and what made it such a big game for me personally. And I'll sort of go over a few of these things. For one, when Assassin's Creed came out, the original Assassin's Creed, again, it was a revolutionary game. It wasn't really anything like a game that you'd seen before, or not to that scale anyway. But after a while, and when it got a bit of a bigger fan base and some more experienced gamers started to play it and played it from start to finish, you started hearing people would start the game and be really impressed with it, and then it'd tail off, and you heard a lot of people complaining about that it was really repetitive. And being a huge fan of the series myself, that was very, very true in that game. There wasn't any sort of diversity within the missions that you did, and the characters got a little bit stale because there wasn't a massive amount of them like there is in this game. So that was a problem with that. In this game, I think they managed to really iron out that bump in the gameplay by adding all types of missions. In Assassin's Creed, you had missions where you had to tail somebody and kill them, or tail somebody and interrogate them, or stuff like that. And they brought in the first sort of free running sort of animations and gameplay mechanics. In this game, they brought in so many different types of missions that you never really got bored. There was the typical sort of target-based missions where you just target somebody and kill them. But then you have the sort of the errand missions, the courier missions. You have races, you have the beat-up events, and then they added all like the puzzles for the Subject 16. And all that kind of stuff. It added so much new stuff in terms of types of missions and gameplay mechanics and new things you could do in the game, that I think it really was it wasn't the finishing touches on the game as a series, but I think it was the main ones, and the ones that really turned it into such a big game. The other thing is, character sort of building, the way it sort of introduces you to a character and you get to know more about them, and because you see a lot of characters in this, and you manage to know pretty much all about them because it brought in, a more advanced database where you could look at, the sort of history of different people. And the thing that I really like about Assassin's Creed as a series is, it's set in all these really cultural environments, and I know a lot of it isn't sort of historically accurate, but the other sort of 50% of it is. I constantly found myself like looking on the internet for maybe some of the buildings that are in this game, like historic churches and cathedrals and all this type of stuff, and like parliamental buildings and all that sort of thing, to see if there was which is still standing and all that sort of thing. It's really interesting. It keeps you glued, and you get to learn about stuff that you previously didn't know about. But yeah, I think, as I say, the main thing that really pulled me in about this game is that it it took Assassin's Creed, which was a success at the time because it was such a different style game. As I say, like with a free running thing, Assassin's Creed put down the foundation for it to be turned into a massive game mechanic, and you know, one that people are really going to enjoy throughout the series, and thing that you like, one thing that you don't really have to tweak too much, but the tweaks they made to that in this game made it a really enjoyable thing to do. You know, Assassin's Creed had that you can climb buildings fast, and you know, you can scale difficult environments and terrains. Well, in this, it's sort of put in stuff where you could do long free running like runs, you know, like more like an obstacle course than you know, just climbing one structure or whatever. And that's what really smoothed that out. This game it maintains the length, that's what she said, of Assassin's Creed, but manages not to be as sort of dull as you get towards the end, because it just introduced so many different things. The storyline itself has so many twists and turns. The ending is as good as any game you're ever going to, you know, play, and people who have played the game will know how good it is. And you know, it draws you in and wants you to. It makes you want to carry on playing once you've completed the game, and it's got the replayability factor of, which is unusual really, because I always say that, you know, RPGs have got the biggest replayability factor, and by RPGs I don't just mean any RPGs, I mean like open world RPGs, because you can just play it, you know, a different way. And even though, you know, you're going to be doing the same things, I have played this game. I'm not sure how many times exactly, but it's a few. As you can see me getting nailed by rocks as I'm climbing this. Yeah, it has got an unbelievable amount of replayability for a game that you know, you're gonna be doing the same things, and there's so many different things to do. As I said, there's the Subject 16 puzzles. You know, they've added all these different types of missions. You can the weapon variety is much different, and again, Assassin's Creed did a very good job of you know, building the foundations for a flawless combat system, but they weren't quite there in this game. Again, it takes a small step to it being perfect, and then with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, because with this game, you know, I didn't use any of the others. I'm not like, you know, I didn't use Brotherhood or Revelations, and I'm not going to use the original Assassin's Creed in this series either. So this is sort of representing the series as a whole. I just thought I'd use this one because, you know, it's the one that really draws people in and really made this series a great one. But yeah, I think, as I say, Assassin's Creed built the foundations of a really good combat system and a killing system. This game sort of nudged it a little bit further with target acquiring, and, you know, a lot of different types of counter and a lot of different weapons. But then obviously with Brotherhood, it added in that flawless, you know, target to target type fighting style, which was just perfect, and that really did complete the series as a whole. That's what I love about this series, and a lot of people, it's a debate that a lot of people have. The perfect example is like Resident Evil 6. Is going to be coming out soon, and, you know, Resident Evil 5 and even 4, even though I thought 4 was a really good game, you know, from 4, you know, 5 and 6, they've just changed what Resident Evil is about so much, and I'm really not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of games having to, you know, change their entire style, which they do, you know, because everybody's trying to compete with Call of Duty these days. You know, you really have to change your style of game to fit, you know, a wide audience, really. And even though that is the case, and, you know, studios have got to do that to, you know, remain successful, I'm just not a fan of it. And that's one of the things I love about Assassin's Creed so much. Even though they've added the stuff in that needed to be changed, maybe not needed to, but, you know, made the game an even better game than it originally was. Even though they have done that, they've never changed the game as a whole and revamped it, and I'm really glad about that. You know, even Assassin's Creed 3, when that comes out, you know, from what I've seen of it, you know, again, they're going to be adding stuff that just, you know, piles on this top quality, you know, game mechanics. and but they've maintained the sort of base camp that makes this game so good. I just love the fact that that they've never strayed away from their what their fans know and love, really. From Assassin's Creed, the things that have stayed are, the free running, the scale, the scale of the maps you can see. When you go up to a viewpoint, you can look around and see everywhere that you can go. It's visually pleasing. It's like I said, with Brotherhood, when that came out, I think that was probably visually the best game on the 360 at the time. And, Revelations didn't do too much to sort of revamp the graphics. It was just a couple of different sort of particles, like smoke particles and stuff like that they added that were quite nice. And but that game was... And it was really colourful as well, Revelations, because of obviously where it was set. But yeah, it's always been a really visually pleasing game, as well as, a gameplay wise, gameplay wise, it's always been fantastic as well. So it's got all areas covered, and it's a game that, because I've got so many games, but I have played through the majority of them. Sometimes when I'm, not recording for videos and I'm not playing multiplayer games, which isn't a lot of the time, really, and I sort of really feel like settling down into a single player game, this is the perfect remedy, really. When it feels like you haven't got a game to play, I know that I can come on Assassin's Creed and have fun with it, even though I've played it so many times. It's just a really enjoyable experience, and it's one of those games you can really get balls deep in, as they say. You can get right into it. That's what she said again. And you can sort of never really get bored of it. Some people might think differently, and I'm sure there will be people that think differently about it, but I don't really. So there's not really much more to say about this. My throat is getting really dry. Jesus. Jesus. Yeah, but nearing the end of this video, I think there is about, let me just check, there is about a minute or so to go of this video. One thing that I really wanted to say is, anybody watching this, if there's anybody who knows how to do themes, like for a YouTube page, like a YouTube channel page, if there's anybody watching this who knows how to do that, or knows somebody who can do it and will be willing to do it for me, please leave a comment, and if it's you, just leave a comment saying that you can do it. And if not, if you just know somebody, then link me to the channel in a personal message or whatever you on water, whatever you want. And also, if anybody would be, again, if you either know how to or know somebody who knows how to make a really good intro and would be willing to make me one, please let me know about that. Again, just leave a comment, whether it's you or not. I think this is just about the end of the video with this nice little scenic shot, and we will leave it there. Elmo, love you! No, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today. The two videos on the left, the top one is my last episode of Rolling Back the Years, which of course is 2010 and Fallout New Vegas, and the video on the bottom is a commentary. The gameplay is quite nice, but the commentary I'm really proud of. I really think you'll like that. It's about bringing your dreams to life and going and completing your goals. Anyway, top right is the subscription button. Please subscribe if you would like to. I would really appreciate that. And on the bottom is a mug and my channel. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Vagina!